Hi guys! Today we are going to make popcorn on the stove with just a few simple ingredients. We got some popcorn kernels, we got some salt, some oil, and a little bit of our Orville Redenbacher popping and topping buttery flavor oil. So this is going to go on top in place of butter. Okay, so what we first want to do is we want to mise en place. Everybody say mise en place. Mise en place means to assemble. So I'm going to assemble all of my ingredients. I'm going to assemble all of my measuring tools, my saucepan, and everything that I need for my recipe first. And that's the first thing that we do. Well, actually, the first thing we do is we read our recipe. So you should have your recipe right here and read all of the ingredients, all of the steps involved, so you know what to do and what's coming up. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing we want to do is we want to measure out 3 tablespoons of oil. Okay, so I'm going to be using, what is this guy called? Measuring spoons. Okay, so measuring spoons. I have my tablespoon, capital T, big spoon, teaspoon, lowercase t, small spoon. So I need 3 tablespoons of oil. So if I were making this at home, which most of you, all of you are, I would just go ahead and take my 3-quart saucepan, so something big like this, and I would measure my oil into here, because that's the first step. It says heat oil in a 3-quart saucepan on high heat. So I'm going to go ahead and measure. You want to pour the oil into the spoon, not the other way around where you're dipping the spoon, okay? So that's 1, 2, and I want to go all the way to the top of the spoon. 3. There's my 3 tablespoons. Next thing I want to go ahead and measure is my salt. So I'm going to put this on the side for now. I don't have to wash my spoon. In fact, I'm just going to take a paper towel and wipe this off. And now I'm going to measure my salt. So my recipe says I need a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. 1/2 teaspoon. That's this one here. So I'm going to go ahead, I have my salt container, dip this into the container, and then I'm going to take this guy. What is this guy called? Straight edge spatula. I'm going to take my straight edge spatula and level it off just like that. So that's an accurate measurement of my 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I also need a 1/2 cup of my popcorn kernels. Now popcorn kernel is a dry ingredient, so this is going to go into a dry measuring cup. Okay, so this is a dry measuring cup. This one is a liquid measuring cup. The liquid measuring cup is clear. It has a handle. It has a spout. The measurement at the maximum level still has a lot of play at the top, so it doesn't spill over. I need a 1/2 cup of my popcorn kernels, so I'm going to carefully over this plate in case any of the kernels spill out. Pour it into our cup, and with your dry ingredient like popcorn kernels, I'm going to just add a little bit more. What I want to do is I just want to shake it level. Okay, I can shake it level just like that. So there's my popcorn, I have my salt, my oil is in here, and then my butter is going to come later. So now I'm going to take it to the kitchen where I'm going to start to cook. Let's go to the kitchen. Now that we're in the kitchen, I have my pot with my 3 tablespoons of oil in it. I'm going to go ahead and turn on the stove. This gas stove, what I want to do is I want to push the dial in and turn it to light. And once it ignites the propane, I want to turn it on high. So the recipe says heat the oil and add in the salt and swirl. So I got my salt here. Then I'm going to add to season the oil. And I'm either going to use my wooden spoon or I'm just going to go ahead and grab the pot and swirl it. And what this will do is it will help season the oil and distribute all that flavoring of the salt. Next, I'm going to add just 3 kernels into the pot and cover it. Now what this is going to do is it's going to heat the oil to the correct temperature and let all of the kernels pop or come to a near popping temperature all at once. Sometimes when you make popcorn in the microwave, you notice that half of it, the kernels didn't pop, or the other half already burnt. And so this way, making it on top of the stovetop, you can ensure that majority of your kernels will go ahead and pop. So we're going to wait for those to pop. I'm going to grab my oven mitts and I'm slightly just going to give it a swirl. So I'm going to use my thumbs to put on top of the cover and my hands to put on top of the handle and swirl it. I got 2 already popped. I'm just waiting for the last one. I'm going to turn the burner off, take this off of the heat, and add in my remaining kernels. Carefully opening the lid. And then I'm going to count 30 seconds. And this 30 seconds will again bring all of the kernels to a near popping temperature, so that when I put it back on top of the stovetop, all the kernels will pop almost at once. So that's about 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. I'm going to go ahead and put this back on the stove. Light. Still on high heat. And then it says, return the pot to the heat. Popcorn should begin popping soon and all at once. Once the popping starts in earnest, gently shake the pan by moving it back and forth over the burner. Okay? Popping in earnest. What do you think earnest means? Does that mean a slow popping? Or do you think earnest means a fast popping? A fast popping. So I'm going to go ahead, give my pan a little shake, and just continue to listen to the popping sounds, to watch what's going on in the pot, and pay attention to what I'm smelling in case it starts to burn. Okay. Once the popping starts in earnest, I'm going to open the lid ajar just a little bit so the opening of my pan is right here on the back of the burner. And this is going to allow the popcorn, the steam to release, but also the popcorn to stay crispier. So as I listen to the popping, I'm making sure that the popping hasn't slowed down yet. And that's when I know I can take the popcorn off of the stove. So I'm going to turn the heat off and I'm gently going to transfer the pot to a cool burner and let it just kind of cool and rest so that no other popping occurs. Then I know it's safe to go ahead, open the cover, I'm going to immediately dump the popcorn into a large bowl where I have my butter waiting. It's 2 tablespoons of butter that's going to get seasoned on top of the popcorn, and maybe just a little bit more salt. But this is a healthier version of popcorn, nice and easy. All you need is some kernel, oil, a pan, and a little bit of salt and butter. And that's how you make the perfect popcorn.